Wrexham might just be practising defending corners on the training ground this week. 8 minutes gone and an unmarked Brett Ormerod gave Blackpool the lead. You'd think the Welshman would have been wise to it second time around, but you'd be wrong. Ormerod again, 2-0 at half-time. At least Craig Falconbridge gave Blackpool a taste of their own medicine after the break, but by then it was purely a consolation.
Preston dominated the majority of this match at Deepdale, but it took a spectacular strike from Michael Appleton to separate these two sides.
You've got the feeling Bury were not destined to get the ball to safety in Saturday's defining moment at Wrexham. Despite at least 5 attempts to smother their opponents, the Bury defence just couldn't find any breathing space. Wrexham kept snapping away like Jack Russell's, and even then Ian Stevens' shot only found the net off the toe end of Andy Woodward.
More than 11,000 saw Cardiff against Wrexham on Friday. Richard Shepherd.
Leg. Good cross. Nugent. 1-0. Williams. Oh, it's the equaliser. 1-1. A great goal.
Two good examples of how to complete one-on-ones took Preston past Wrexham. Steve Basham executing the first. The strike partner Jonathan Mackham illustrating his version for the second. North End 3-0, aggregate winners.
Now Wrexham against Bristol Rovers with commentary from Alistair Mann.
Now Connolly. Now Russell. McGregor. And still. And Russell. And a chance and a goal. Falconbridge. Roberts. Oh, great skill, almost threaded it through the legs. Still alive. Curtin! Lovely header. Oh, he took that beautifully, didn't he? Foster. Callis. Roberts. Caught by Ridley. And Ridley will get booked here. Well, hang on, he's already been booked. And off he goes. Jerry Jones and Kevin Reeves urging his side to hang on for this point, which they've thoroughly deserved to. Maybe they're going to get a win with Falconbridge. Yes, they are. Who wants a point when you can have all three?
Welcome back. Time for sport now, and tomorrow sees the new domestic rugby season kick off in Wales. The soccer season is well underway, of course. Rodri Davis is in North Wales at the Racecourse Ground, home to Wrexham Football Club. Rodri.
Thanks, Hugh. It's a night of celebration here in Wrexham with the opening of the new Price Griffiths stand. While the Millennium Stadium has been attracting all the attention down south, the racecourse too has been undergoing redevelopment. And here to tell us all about it is Wrexham's Managing Director, David Rhodes. David, it's been a long time coming, but it certainly looks impressive tonight.
We've been planning this for about 10 years, Rodri, and this particular plan has been on the board for about 18 months. We started work on the 1st of December, and the stand is virtually complete for us to use it tonight.
Obviously, a lot of hard work has gone into it. What kind of costs are we talking and things like that?
The whole stadium development with the upgrading of the floodlights and PA system has come out at about £3.5 million.
And you're still looking to develop again?
We're still looking in time to develop the Cop into an all-seated area as well.
Now, looking at it tonight, it looks immaculate. There are still some finishing touches to be put on. It's great as a club ground, but you're also looking, of course, to host internationals here.
That's right. The first big international occasion we'll have the ground open for is, of course, the Rugby World Cup, when Samoa meet Japan here. And hopefully we'll have about 16,000 in the ground on that day.
And you've got things going on throughout the month building up to the World Cup.
That's right. We've got all sorts of things going on. Rugby balls are being run around the town is promoting rugby in a big way. It looks like it'll be quite a good occasion.
And important as well, of course, you've now got the stadium. It's important that you've got a team to go with it. They've started the season well enough here.
That's right, we've done very well. Brian has managed to get the team up to second or third spot in the second division now. It's the highest position we've been in for a long time. We hope we can just carry it through tonight.
I know you've got a busy month ahead, David, but will you get a chance to enjoy tonight?
I'll be very happy when 9:30 comes tonight and it's all gone off successfully.
David, thanks very much for joining us. I'll let you get back to it.
Thanks
a lot. Well, there is a big game going on here tonight, of course. Wrexham have started the season at a gallop. They're now lying third in the second division after such an impressive start. The visitors tonight are Notts County. Here's Paul Mewis.
It's not just the stadium that's been transformed at Wrexham. The team have also undergone a dramatic change in fortunes. Last season was a poor one for the Robins, relegation threatening at one stage. But the start this time could hardly have been better.
The more you win, the more confidence the players get, and we have no fear going out now because of the way we've started the season. The lads can't wait to go into the next game, especially after a good win on Tuesday night.
A win tonight will put Wrexham top of the table, but manager Brian Flynn is forced to make changes. Phillips is missing with an ankle injury, Gareth Owen is suspended, and Danny Williams is on international duty with the Wales under-21 side. Whatever the result, though, the night will be a special one for Chairman Price Griffiths, even though he himself won't be sitting in the stand that's named after him.
Actually, I'd rather be on the side where the teams are, you know, and the management, and I feel that's my place anyway. I will, of course, every match pop across. You know, I wouldn't neglect it at all. And I'm very honoured that they've named the stand after me.
The opening of the new stand here at the racecourse will improve the crowd atmosphere. And after 12 years of playing in a three-sided stadium, Wrexham's players are looking forward to that. Paul Mewis, HTV News.
Well, the man who continues to guide Wrexham through football's ups and downs is Brian Flynn. Brian, certainly on the up at the moment. If you win tonight, you could go top.
Yes, it's a nice feeling, but we've had Notts County watched on a few occasions, and they're going to be a tough side tonight. I'm certain of that.
And Wrexham have a bit of a habit at the beginning of the season, if you don't mind me saying so, of letting teams get away just to make it that little bit more difficult for yourself.
Well,
it's a bit of a change.
Yeah, funnily enough, we are traditionally very poor starters, and at this stage last year, I mean, we've got 10 points now. It took us 10 games to get 10 points last season, so, you know, we've equalled that with only 5 games. To be fair, what's happened is that the young lads and the new lads who have come in have settled in really well, and because of that, it's helped competition places, and it's freshened the team up.
The character has been fantastic over that, especially considering the fact you finished 3 games with 10 men, right?
Yeah, well, we needed that. The spirit is good. You know, when that happens, I'm not happy that it's happened on 3 occasions, but the lads have dug in there. You know, they've done well down at Cardiff. We went to 10 men when against Bury, and obviously last Saturday when we did, and we got a dramatic winner, you know, through Craig Falconbridge. Yeah, it's a lot of spirit amongst the lads.
And I'd imagine you and the players must be delighted with this new stand and looking forward to playing in front of a crowd there.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, I mean, like David had just said, we've waited a long time for this, and it's worthwhile because, you know, it's a fantastic stand.
Well, Brian, I know you want to get back to the team, but thanks very much for joining us tonight, and good luck.
Okay, thank you.
A point of interest, there were no bookings in the full 90 minutes at Burnley. It must be a Friday night thing, because there were no names in the referee's notebook at the racecourse ground either. Wrexham against Notts County. Dwayne Darby's name was first onto the score sheet. It was the second as well. He put County in front on 25 minutes and extended their lead on 42. When Mark Stellard made it 3-0 to the visitors a minute before half-time, it looked to be all over for Wrexham. Not much of a party on the night they opened their new £3 million stand. The crowd was more than 5,000, and they were given something to cheer in the second half. A 2-goal fight back, but not enough to share the points. Craig Falconbridge scored in the 61st and was given credit for their next in the 83rd. Jake Edwards had the final word on that score, though he definitely scored the second. Falconbridge was unlucky to hit the woodwork in between. 3-2 to County.
Bristol Rovers' away win sees them setting the pace in the second division with Burnley hot on their heels. Notts County's win at Wrexham pushes them up to 4th, joining Wigan and Luton on 11 points. The Welsh club slipped to 6th. At the foot of the table, Oldham are still to score a point. Millwall are only 3 better off, but have games in hand. Scunthorpe wasted their opportunity to climb ahead of Reading, who didn't play. In the bookies' eyes, Wigan have done everything expected of them so far. Even stronger favourites now at 6-4. Bristol Rovers fans might fancy a flutter the early season leaders 10-1. While Luton's decent start hasn't counted for much, they're 40-1.
I would say it's an ideal time to score, isn't it? Just before half-time. It's a great boost as you go into the dressing room. But that's the last thing TNS would want. Barrett trying to work it with Danny Williams. Williams. And that's the touch, and that's the goal! On the stroke of half-time. Just what TNS didn't want. And it's Brian Carey. I think that's the first time, really, he's been allowed to win anything in the air. And on the stroke of half-time, Wrexham take the lead.
Different angle, lower trajectory, just a touch into the top corner. Wrexham had to change the balls into the penalty box. Lower, firmer, slight touch, because they're up against big centre-halves. And it's a great little touch from Brian Carey.
17-year-old Matthew Taylor will never forget this game. This was his first league goal. A stunning strike in a match with memorable goals. Luton were 2 ahead after just 14 minutes. This time it was Matthew Spring who seized the shooting opportunity. Wrexham had a player dismissed for the 4th time this season. Phil Hardy sent off late in the game, though Ian Stevens' excellent finish kept Brian Flynn's side in the match. All the goals came in the first half, and after failing at the 6 previous attempts, Luton manager Lenny Lawrence finally notched up a victory over Wrexham. Liam George danced his way through for Luton's his third of the season. Wrexham's best efforts to hit back were pushed away by Tanny Abbey. The Luton keeper's form only added to the frustration of the visitors.
Bristol Rovers slipped from top spot, replaced by pre-season title favourites Wigan. Burnley also dropped back after their draw at Preston, leapfrogged on goal difference by Notts County and Luton, who both won. Oldham have points on the board at last, but they're not yet off the bottom. They're reeling in Reading, now only a point ahead, along with Millwall, who played 1 less. Scunthorpe jumped 5 places thanks to their victory at Colchester.
Now Wrexham versus Oxford with Alistair Mack.
Good tackle by Hardy. Nice slip ball there. Chance now for the lovely ball too, and a chance maybe for Stevens. And he scored. And Darren Ferguson has immediately introduced himself to the home faithful. Cook in towards Antrobus. Oh, he got there. Dearden under all sorts of pressure. Beecham!
In the northern half of Wales, the day started brightly for Wrexham as Brian Carey met Darren Ferguson's corner in emphatic manner. But Stoke, seeking a hat-trick of away wins, responded, with Kevin Keane neatly trapping the ball back into the path of scorer Peter Thorne. There are times when goal scorers can do no wrong, and with 4 goals in the last 5 games, Kyle Lightbourne is enjoying one of those purple patches. Goal number 4 in that run came courtesy of an outrageous deflection. Not that he should worry. With 12 minutes remaining, victory seemed to be assured as Nicky Mohan flicked in a header. But Wrexham, having conceded 3 goals for the 3rd time in 4 matches, came again to set up a nail-biting finish with David Lowe's timely header.
Finally, Colchester and Wrexham shared the points at Layer Road on Friday night. Wrexham were in front twice. Gareth Owen's shot took a deflection on its way in for the opener. All the goals, along with all the excitement, have been saved for the second half. Colchester's equaliser was well worked. Lumana Trésor-Lualoa forced keeper Kevin Dearden to parry the cross shot. Carl Dugan kept running for the rebound. Wrexham claimed the lead for a second time. They were going for their 2nd away win, and a delightful diving header by Andy Morrell perhaps deserved the points. Colchester, though, had the final word with the final move of the match 3 minutes into stoppage time. Home skipper Richard Wilkins earning a vital point. United are 3rd bottom of the table.
Bristol Rovers remain top of the pile, but Wigan were winners too. They're 3 points behind with a match in hand. Burnley and Brentford's draw does neither club a great favour. There are now 5 teams all bracketed together on 17 points. The only good news for Oldham, the teams above them all wasted the chance to move further clear, with the exception of Colchester, who drew. If they can win their spare game, they'll overtake Blackpool. Here's how the bookies now see it. Wigan are as hotly fancied as ever, now 5-4 on to take the title. But Bristol Rovers could make a few people rich, 6-1. They were 14-1 at one stage. 2 sliders, Bristol City now 16-1 from 8-1. And Reading's awful start sees them as a 66-1 shot.
2 or 3 times now and the ball has come in from the left. And it's cleared everybody. Phil Hardy got caught a little bit out of position. Dave Riddler in the middle as well. And Glyndŵr Hughes just missing.
Well, he's given a penalty in for the a push in the penalty area.
Well, I had my eye on the monitor there, but he's given a pen.
And it's Kevin Morrison against Kevin Dearden. We'll have to have another look at that. There was a slight nudge, but I must say I thought he'd given a goal kick. Not too many protests from the Wrexham players. It's Kevin Morrison against Kevin Dearden. Up comes Morrison. 1-0 Aberystwyth. And could well go out for another Wrexham corner. They need to start the second half as they did the first and to sustain it a bit longer. On its equaliser. Just what Wrexham wanted, and it's Andy Morrell, who scored on Friday against Colchester, has equalised right at the start of the second half.
Well, if you're talking about quality balls into the penalty box, that is brilliant. Whipped into the near post, just the striker just getting ahead of the defender, and just needs the slightest touch. There it is, into the bottom corner. That is a quality ball into the penalty box. Something that Wrexham didn't deliver in the first half.
Gareth Owen, though, misdirecting his pass, and Gareth Hughes tries to clear. Chris Hammond as well to keep the ball in play. Falconbridge. There's a chance here surely for Wrexham. Can they capitalise? They have. It's 2-1. And it's Ian Stevens, the substitute with... Well, hasn't been on the field too long, hasn't touched the ball on many occasions, but he's put the ball in the back of the net. That's why Brian Flynn brought him on.
Yeah, but watch his position here, Stevens. Doesn't get carried away and go to the 6-yard box, holds his position. Good technique to finish it. It wasn't a great ball back from Ferguson, it has to be said. Just a little bit off the ground, but what a good finish that was. But that sums Ian Stevens up, there's no doubt about that. Very, very seldom does he get involved in the build-up, and that's all he does. One-touch finisher, and he knows where the net is.
McGregor, just chalk outside of him. Ferguson might want the return. Oh, good strike, and that settled it now from Ian Stevens. Patient build-up by Wrexham. Ferguson just to Stevens, who showed strength and turned well and finished clinically. And that will please Brian Flynn. The recovery's complete now. 3-1 they lead.
Great striker's goal. Poor defending, you have to say. You can't allow players of this ability to turn in the box. What a wonderful strike that was into the roof of the net. Look, holding him off there. There should be somebody in front of Stevens to stop the ball coming into his feet. But that's one class finish. Watch this, there's acres of space, tickles it round the corner. Good night.
Gillingham are enjoying themselves now. Peter Taylor's settled in. Wrexham, beaten 4-0 last season at Priestfield, were set on the way to another wretched afternoon by Andy Thompson after 26 minutes. The Welsh rallied, Craig Falconbridge hitting the post with a penalty before redeeming himself a minute later with a well-placed equaliser. But on the stroke of half-time, the home side was back in front. Nicky Southall started and finished another neat move. His 30-yard run rewarded with a nicely weighted return ball, which he used to maximum effect. But all talk after the game would be about the second half goals. A 5-minute purple patch for Bob Taylor saw the striker bag a hat-trick. The first, a powerful surge through the centre. Apparently Taylor's not fully fit. Heaven help the first side he faces once he is. Adds strength in the air to the portfolio that attracted a £400,000 bid from Portsmouth last week. Gillingham 4-1 up and no stopping Big Bob now. He had his eye on the match ball and took it in style. Lifelong Gillingham fan Brian Moore enjoyed that moment at the back of the stand, but even he might have had a hard time finding words to explain the celebration.
Another game played tonight in Group C. Wrexham comfortable winners over Conwy United. Their goals from Paul Barrett inside a minute, then Andy Morrell just after half-time, and Neil Roberts, who won his first Welsh cap on Saturday, well, he added the third just before the hour. Wrexham now, well, almost certain, I'd say, to finish top of Group C. And
a superb week for Neil Roberts. His first full Welsh cap, followed by a cracker for Wrexham. Alistair Mann.
Here's Reeves. Carey coming across with him. Carr's guiding it in, and it's an own goal off Owen. Roberts. Hardy again. Up towards Stevens. Chance now for Roberts! Oh, yes! Welcome back, Neil Roberts.
Stoke's 5th league win in 6 games extends the Britannia Stadium feel-good factor just at a time when an Icelandic consortium is set to complete a takeover. James O'Connor's 2nd of the week and then one from Graham Kavanagh was enough to beat Wrexham. There's a suggestion that the consortium might be replacing manager Gary Megson with their own manager when they move in. But if it isn't broken, why try and mend it?
Many a superior team has had reason to be apprehensive about facing Wrexham in the Cup. Kettering Town weren't, when Phil Brown put the conference team ahead. The traditional biter was given the traditional bite. Roused, Wrexham rallied. Gareth Owen had a shot turned over the bar. It was only 5 minutes from time when Kettering were punished. A foul by Ian Ridgway, a penalty by Neil Roberts. A replay at Kettering on Tuesday week.
Wrexham's manager Brian Flynn used to play for Burnley and still lives in the area. His short journey home last night, though, must have seemed like an eternity. Wrexham going down to a humiliating 5-0 defeat against his old club. Burnley are now 2nd in the table. They're looking a good bet to challenge for promotion. But after their biggest defeat of the season, Wrexham are slipping too close to the wrong end of the 2nd division for comfort.
Brian Flynn is a manager under pressure. Trevor Harris saw Wrexham lose to Brentford.
It's towards the centre half, and Darren Powell should have done better from there. It'll be the outswinger with the left foot. It's towards Carey. He might get it on the floor here. Russell. Second time he's struck at goal. And that time he did force Andy Woodman into a save. And it's Andy Scott who'll take the kick. And the goalkeeper lost it, and it's forced in by Scott Marshall. The error by Kevin Dearden. He doesn't make many. And Brentford take the lead in the 24th minute.
What would your message be to Wrexham fans who are obviously a bit concerned with the slip down the table, no win in 8 games?
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to be, involved with a successful side. We've been through difficult patches before in the past, and we've come through them stronger and better for it. And they know that. I mean, I don't mind them taking the frustrations out on me as long as they back the team as they did today.
The top 3 in the 2nd division all drew. Notts County lead Wigan by 2 points, with Preston a further point adrift. Wigan have a game in hand, though. Burnley drop 1 place after their defeat. The draw for Cambridge sees them overtake Chesterfield on goal difference. The Derbyshire club have also been caught by Colchester, all three on 11 points. Blackpool move clear of that trio. Oxford leapfrog Cardiff and Reading.
The division's only goalless draw came at the New Den, but no lack of incident. Mark Bircham showed excellent tenacity and skill to set up one of the night's best chances. Neil Harris was foiled by the palm of Wrexham keeper Kevin Dearden. It wasn't a night to remember, though, for Millwall's former Arsenal striker Paul Shaw. He followed through too vigorously on Brian Carey, leaving the Wrexham defender tasting the green grass of Millwall's home, and Shaw facing a red card and an early walk down the tunnel. Wrexham might have gone on to their second away win of the week, Kettering having been disposed of in the FA Cup, but Millwall keeper Tony Warner bent his back to deny them.
Of course, Brian Flynn starred recently for Wales in the over 35s, wasn't it, when they won the competition at Manchester in the Home Nations competition. Still as fit as ever. And we'll be hoping that his Wrexham side can seal 3 points here. They could be in for an opening goal at the start of the second half, and they are. A terrible mix-up, really, in the Conway defence. And Robin Gibson able to capitalise with just over a minute played after the restart.
Yeah, his persistence won the day here, and then just tickled it past the keeper into the bottom corner. Gareth Owen knowing it going in. And Robin was second best all the while here, wasn't he? But he's a tenacious little character. Just slotted it past the keeper.
Divisional superiority remained untainted at the racecourse as Wrexham from the second beat Rochdale from the third. In the week, Wrexham had won in the Welsh Cup. Neil Roberts set them on the way in the FA Cup after 15 minutes. Graham Atkinson netted Rochdale's equaliser, but former Coventry youngster Craig Falconbridge put Wrexham into round 3 and extended their unbeaten run to 4 matches.
Oldham fans shouldn't have to search too hard to find a player of the season, provided, of course, he keeps playing like this. Goalkeeper Gary Kelly is already the outstanding candidate. This fellow has been in brilliant form since the season began, and Wrexham would surely have stolen the points at Boundary Park, but for Kelly's athleticism. These two warmed up for third-round FA Cup ties against Premiership opposition by more or less dominating 45 minutes apiece. Blackpool's reward for the brighter start was a penalty when Brian Quayle was brought down by Mark McGregor. And the first away goal in 438 minutes was the outcome from John Hill's well-taken kick. Wrexham, however, piled on the pressure in the second half, and who else but the currently prolific Craig Falconbridge could grab the equaliser for his third in 4 matches.
Today, a glance at Wrexham's Cup history explains why Premier League Middlesbrough won't take anything for granted at the racecourse ground come 3 o'clock. The second division side are more than capable of raising their game for a cup tie such as this, as Gerald Sinstadt now reports.
This week, the Wrexham leader reran a headline it first used 25 years ago. The players, once more, donned Undertaker's outfits, hoping that Borough can be buried again. Nobody more hopeful than Joey Jones, a coach now, a fledgling player then.
It was a great experience for me, you know. I was just 19, playing in a good team that John Neal had built up, and you know, John Neal was always one for giving youth a chance, and it was a great time because you know we had a good cup run that year. We got to the FA Cup quarter-finals, but beating Middlesbrough was a special one for us because they were unbeaten at the time.
Beating Arsenal in 1992 was probably Wrexham's finest hour.
I was substituted against the Arsenal.
But itching to get on the pitch, I bet.
Itching to get on, but I don't think I'd have made much difference. The lads are absolutely brilliant without me anyway, you know. But having said that, to be fair, Arsenal, you know, is probably the better team, but you always have to have luck, you know, whether you're playing against Arsenal or you're playing against an Ag's Head. you still got to have a bit of luck, and, you know, it fell for us that day, really. I mean, Mickey Thomas's goal was absolutely brilliant, and I'm convinced if that net wasn't there, the ball would probably still be travelling to this day.
It's Thomas who takes it. Oh, what a goal, Mickey Thomas! He's done it, the magic little man at the venerable age of 37 has produced a sensational goal.
To score a goal like that was incredible, and to beat the league champions, you know, was a fantastic achievement, not just for myself, for the team. It was a wonderful day for Wrexham. It was a great financial reward for them, and as I said, it's gone down in history and people still talk about my goal.
And as the game wore on and, you know, 20 minutes to go, you could sense the lads had, you know, we may have a chance here. And obviously the unexpected happened, the unpredictable happened, Mickey's free kick. And then 2 minutes later, Steve Watkin, the local boy, you know, the old hero and the new hero, young hero, scores the winner for us. It was a memorable day, I must admit.
Dixon just hit long. And there's the whistle. Wrexham have achieved a really famous FA Cup victory.
What about this current team? Can they upset Middlesbrough?
Well, thankfully, I mean, we have got 1 or 2 players who are unpredictable. You obviously look at the forwards. Craig Falkenberg has come to us from Coventry, and he's got 10 goals so far. And he's settled in really well, and he's hungry to get back to the top. He wants to get back to the top, and he's showing, you know, that desire.
Yeah, I've scored 4 in the last 5. It's a bit of a purple patch, so hopefully I can keep it going. We've got a great team spirit at the club. We're strong. I think we're strong enough to come up against the best. And on our day, we can probably beat anybody.
Young Robin Gibson, who's quite a handful. He's a little, I would regard him like the old-style Scottish winger, you know. He's small, he's strong, he's quick. He's a good cross of the ball. He's learning, you know, all along. He can produce something out of nothing.
I suppose when you start your career, it's always at the back of your mind that this day might dawn.
Oh yes, this has been a dream, to be fair, like play against a Premiership club, like above, like in what, maximum crowd. I've always dreamed of it. Like,
does it bother you that you might not quite rise to the occasion, or do you always believe you can?
I always believe you can. Like, I always put 110% in anything, play, training, anything. So heart's always there. Like, especially you got Joey Jones, like, giving you information on the bench, rearing you up and everyone. So it's always there, like, in your heart. You want to do your best.
This is what dreams are made of, isn't it? You know, we all dream about having days like this and possibly causing upsets.
Joey Jones giving you information from the bench.
Things have changed.
That's a loose description, isn't it?
Just like, you can imagine what the information was as well.
On one hand, we're saying there's less chance of shocks nowadays, but when you listen to the Wrexham team there, they're quite up for it.
Well, if they've been known as somewhat of a team who were capable of producing cup shocks, I think now, though, that they're missing, probably they don't have the same quality of players that they had when they were able to produce those. Just a couple of years ago, I think they got the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. It depends a lot today, Ray, on Middlesbrough. They're supposedly missing quite a few players, and it will really depend on how they turn out and the shape of their team and how they perform. But, you know, when the people like Brian Robson are amongst them at Middlesbrough, they'll just say, listen, you know, everybody's saying we could get beat here today. If you're prepared to let that happen, it may happen. But maybe at best a draw for Wrexham, I think, and a replay.
Though they look like a team from Dickensian times, there was a real purpose behind those sombre expressions, and it worked. And is a cup shock not a cup shock? Well, basically, when it involves Wrexham. Wrexham looked more like a team of pallbearers this week as they prepared for yesterday's tie with Middlesbrough, precisely as they did when the two clubs met 25 years ago. An element of superstition for sure, for the club who've also a tradition of being great practical jokers. None more so.
Well, I didn't really agree with it. The local press did, you know. It's only tongue-in-cheek. It's not. It's nothing to disrespectful to Middlesbrough. It's just tongue-in-cheek for those. They're only going back to what we did 25 years ago. It worked then. We're just hoping it might work again.
Yes, the bizarre pre-match hype certainly worked a quarter of a century ago. David Smallman got the only goal of the game. Wrexham's exploits in the Cup really encapsulates the romance that until yesterday appeared to be dwindling. Gaza, Juninho, and the irony of ironies, Alex Ferguson in the stand to watch his son Darren, who said Fergie doesn't care about the Cup anymore. Well, Wrexham have been having a right old struggle in the second division, but this is the Cup, when the paupers so often get the better of more illustrious opponents. Having said that, Brian Robson's multi-million-pound assembly started brightly enough. The anxiety on and off the pitch being provided by the Colombian Hamilton Ricard. Phil Stamp, not one of Borough's more celebrated names, then made a tenacious run. A cute exchange with Ricard provided the opportunity for Brian Deane, who was only prevented from scoring by Phil Hardy's magnificent under-the-bar clearance. Match-saving athleticism. Well, Borough went in front just at the point you don't want to go behind. 3 minutes to the break. Brian Flynn's half-time pep talk had to be hurriedly re-scripted. It was quite scrappy, really, and slightly contentious. Deane the scorer. Viv Anderson delighted. Now, did Ricard handle here? I don't think so. Did Robbie Mustoe? Definitely. But with or without intent. More like self-defence. And the shot itself, well, that was clearly deflected. Into the second half, and Brian Flynn's ad-lib was clearly working. A touch of the upper atoms, but primarily they outplayed and outpassed Gaza, Juninho and co. It was Darren Ferguson's through ball that Robin Gibson guided past Schwarzer, and that's no mean feat in itself. Gibson, one of 6 players of 21 or under who come up through the ranks. And that's the way they stay in business. Just the man for a battle in these situations, but Borough don't have a Brian Robson where it matters most at times like these, especially with Paul Ince injured. Gaza involved fleetingly, did down quickly to stop Ricard. Good save this, out quickly, decisively and standing firm. But there was an air of inevitability at the racecourse ground by now. The locals have witnessed it all before. Darren Ferguson started and finished the move which won the game, and it really was a beaut. Dad was sitting or probably dancing proudly in the stands. It was another moment of triumph for the Ferguson clan. It's remarkable how certain clubs just keep on producing days like these. The Wrexham diehards, epitomised by Joey Jones, were absolutely ecstatic.
Obviously, Middlesbrough came into it and got the goal just before half-time. But I said to the players, you know, we will get chances second half because we produced some in the first half. And if we do get them chances, we've got to take them. And thankfully we did.
You must have been doubly pleased because obviously your dad was in the stand watching.
Yeah, he came along with my brother and my wife and my nephew to watch. So they were all pleased, you know, pleased with the result and pleased that I scored the winner, obviously. Yeah, so it was a good day all round.
I'll tell you what, that's the magic of the Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. You know, Wrexham haven't been doing too well in the league, and they go and produce a result like that. It's absolutely fantastic for the town as well.
Have you completely finished there now? Do you go back, do a bit of training, do a bit of coaching?
Yeah, I still go back there. Still do quite a lot. I still see Joey and Brian and all them. You know, I get on really well with them, but and I really enjoyed it. They're a good set of lads as well.
Tell you what, that was, you know, really sort of ironic goal in many respects with Manchester United pulling out of the Cup this season, wasn't it? But, you know, for Alex to go there and then to watch his son score the winner in such dramatic circumstances.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Extraordinary.
It's incredible.
He actually starts the move as well.
It's a great goal as well. It's not just a tap-in or anything. You know, you start it, gets it. It's a great finish. Like, the keeper had no chance of getting that, but it's incredible. All the hype about Manchester United not being in the Cup and the other Ferguson, it's the headlines.
No, it's extraordinary, isn't it? Wonderful, wonderful goal.
Superb,
wonderful control.
Yeah. That's his first goal for the club as well, so hopefully he'll get quite a few more for the club.
That's right. And you say you've got to hit it precisely to beat someone of Mark Schwartz's size when he's at full stretch down there.
He's massive and all that, you know, and say to get a shot in like that, you know, right in the corner, it's absolutely fantastic for Wrexham.
Well, it seems that, you know, Flinney's doing it again, you know, because they've got all these kids coming through. I mean, without that production line, I mean, clubs like Wrexham, you've got to say, will be doomed.
Well, I say, you know, he's done really well to get all these. They've got a good, like, academy there going now at Wrexham, and that's what's needed to survive. And I think Brian Flynn's done a great job there in getting them ready for the first team. So that's the only way they're going to survive at Wrexham.
But Wrexham-Cambridge, I mean, you know, when you hear that, but when Brian heard that result, that draw this afternoon, would he have gone, oh, heck, I'd have preferred a bit more of a glamorous
You want a glamour club, but I think it's worse if you're Cambridge, because you actually go into Wrexham, you won't have a great crowd there, but actually you got a chance of getting knocked down. So I think you've got to look on the bright side, is that they've got a home draw, and hopefully, well, I'm pretty certain they can get results against Cambridge and maybe get one of the glamour clubs in the 5th round.
Very appropriate tonight, because we leave you all with the pride of North Wales. Bye-bye.
A potentially awkward tie for Middlesbrough at 2nd Division Wrexham.
Not so much a race course, more a Premiership graveyard in recent years. On a wild and wet afternoon, Wrexham put Borough under early pressure. Mark Schwarzer to the rescue. Then a slick interchange between Dean and Hamilton Rickard. Kevin Dearden earning his corn at the other end. A controversial goal put the Premiership side in front. Dean's header, a suspicion of handball from Rickard. Dean finishing the job he started. Multi-million-pound Borough ahead against a side costing a mere 150,000. A fearsome Welsh fight back after the break. Darren Ferguson, son of Sir Alex, supplied the killer ball to little Robin Gibson. The rest is what FA Cup dreams are made of. The decibel level at the racecourse dangerously high. With his father watching from the stands, Darren Ferguson made sure the Sunday papers got the headlines they were looking for. He took on the Borough defence with devastating effect. Who said a Ferguson wouldn't influence this season's FA Cup? Wrexham's joy was overflowing. Borough, their pride wounded, counter-attack. Juninho, their most effective player, presenting Christian Ziege with a chance an international really should convert. His expression summed up their day. Joey Jones tried to steady the Wrexham ship as Juninho broke again, running at the heart of the Wrexham defence. Rickard this time foiled by some brave goalkeeping from Dearden. The Borough bench was looking glum. Then the final whistle, a little corner of North Wales, went absolutely bonkers. A pitch invasion followed. Wrexham, 18th in Division 2, had another illustrious FA Cup scout. In the dressing rooms, the picture everyone wanted, father and son celebrating, and the Snappers were loving it.
I felt throughout the game, throughout the 90 minutes, we deserved to win. I thought we were unlucky going in behind at half-time, but we came in, we said at half-time if we got a goal, we fancied our chances, and that's what happened. Little Gibbo took his goal ever so well, so it was a good win for us.
We had some chances which we missed, but it shouldn't have got to that stage. I mean, we should have went out with a far better approach to the second half than what we did. And Wrexham should never have been allowed to get back into the game, you know, but we went into it slack, like I say, and we've encouraged them. And, you know, the end result is what we got.
And then I think, you know, looking at Wrexham, I mean, last decade really, West Ham again has they've done exceptionally well, but Darren Ferguson, I mean, Alex going to watch it, his dad, I mean, it was in the script, wasn't it? And it was a good goal right on the edge of the penalty area, and a little late siege, they survived. So the cup episode's still coming thick and fast.
Honours even at the Medeski Stadium, where the Reading fans' infamous pants protest stole most of the headlines. Inevitable then that their side would score first. Peter Grant obliged 6 minutes before the break. Wrexham may not have won a league match in 12 games, but their FA Cup win over Middlesbrough has clearly boosted morale. Gareth Owen with the stunning equaliser on the stroke of half-time. And when no Reading defender tracked Neil Roberts' run 9 minutes into the second half, the pants protest looked well justified. Royals boss Alan Pardew said it got to the players, and they had to be brave to earn a point. So he was no doubt delighted that in the face of fans armed with deadly pairs of spare underwear, Keith Scott had the presence of mind to tuck in an equaliser.
Wigan and Preston are neck and neck in the race for the second division title, with Bristol Rovers poised to exploit any slips. With Gillingham out of action and Notts County beaten, Burnley gain ground up to 5th. Cambridge waste their chance to pull further clear of bottom club Chesterfield. No joy for Blackpool either, while Reading drew. Colchester the only significant movers, leapfrogging Scunthorpe and Cardiff. Bury's match at Chesterfield was postponed, so Bournemouth in 10th took the chance to open a 4-point gap. Mark Steen extended Wrexham's league run to 14 matches without a win. One goal enough for Bristol City away at Wrexham. The Welsh still too close to the bottom three for comfort. No one in red able to complete an effective clearance. Sean Taylor more than happy to take 3 points back across the border. Wigan's advantage over Preston remains 2 points. Millwall lose ground on Bristol Rovers with that draw. The gap now 4 points, but not the best weekend either for their challengers Burnley and Gillingham. Only one change near the bottom, a draw enough for Blackpool to leapfrog Cambridge. Chesterfield 2 points behind and 8 from safety, but they have a game to spare on some of their rivals.
As long as striker Trevor Benjamin continues displaying the goal-scoring talent which put Cambridge ahead at Wrexham, the more the big boys will be waiting to wave the chequebook at manager Roy McFarlane. Still, turning a former youth player into their latest big-money prodigy would financially at least soften the blow. Carl Connolly brought Wrexham level, but they couldn't reproduce the cup form which ousted Middlesbrough in the last round. Martin Butler scored Cambridge's winner, and he could soon be another Cambridge striker on a bigger club's wish list, hence McFarlane's problem in a promising cup season.
Wrexham's wretched run ends at last. 17 league games without a win before they got the better of Bury. A mixture of fancy footwork and plain old perseverance paying off for Neil Roberts. Whether it'll be enough to convince supporters that the league's third longest-serving manager still has a future with the club remains to be seen. But it's bound to be a lift for Brian Flynn. Bury dominated, but Roberts wrought havoc again. The Welsh international striking an unexpected blow to Bury's outside hopes of reaching the playoffs. Bristol Rovers are up 1 place to second, 2 points behind leaders Wigan and 1 ahead of Preston, but David Moyes' side have a game to spare. Stoke were the only other winners in the top 7, the gap to Millwall reduced to a point. 6 of the bottom 8 clubs drew. Wrexham rise 1 place though with that long overdue victory. In the relegation zone, Blackpool have played 1 game more than the rest. Cambridge and Chesterfield meet on Saturday.
The Welsh derby in the English League was won by a Scot. Commentator Trevor Harris.
Again, Roberts the target, and again he wins it too. No flag, this is Owen. And good defending from Mark Bonner, and it had to be. Wrexham turning the heat up early on. Carries up in the middle for it. We go towards him, and what a save! Terrific save by Hallworth. It looked every inch a goal. And the keeper flung himself to his left. And that's a terrific stop. It's a better ball. Hardy. Looking towards Falconbridge. Ford got the header in. Ferguson thought about the shot, changed his mind. No flag! And it just clipped the top of the bar, I think. It was a really good chance. And maybe it's not going to be Wrexham's afternoon. In. Now Boland. Towards Nugent. Carey got something of it. Good chance, and it's in! Cardiff have scored. It's Josh Lowe. And he hit it really sweetly after Wrexham had failed to clear the danger. Falconbridge. Now Roberts. Still run for the middle from Connolly. Oh, what a strike! Carl Connolly. His first league goal of the season. And what a way to get it. Well, he was playing midfield for the first half, and he suddenly appeared there on the left, and it was a stunning volley. Little knock in towards Roberts. It's broken and it's in! Darren Ferguson! 2 superb goals from Wrexham. Hallworth beaten for a second time. He could do nothing about it. Cardiff said it was handball, the referee said it was chest, and Darren Ferguson scores for the first time since that famous goal in the cup against Middlesbrough.
Wrexham massing in the middle again. Despite slipping, it was good delivery from Walters and hooked in by who other than Jamie Curitan. He simply cannot stop scoring for Bristol Rovers at the moment. That's number 17 for the season, and midway through the first half, Bristol Rovers have the vital breakthrough. Walters has kept it in play, and he's given something for Roberts to chase. Away from McGregor, nicely done. Waiting in the middle is Trees, 2-0. That was a terrific finish. It wasn't the easiest ball to deal with, but Trees threw himself at it and dispatched the ball with some pace into the back of the net. Gibson through to Falconbridge, chance for Wrexham, and turned in far post. They're back into the game. It needed the touch, and it was supplied by Roberts. Spink's header seized upon by Curitan. Again, Roberts is in the middle. Back to goal, Jason Roberts. Can he tee it up? He's done it all himself. Jason Roberts, 3-1 to Bristol Rovers. Well, that had everything that's good about his game. Strength initially, and no lack of skill with the finish. Low past Kevin Dearden. He's up to 20 for the season, and Rovers now have surely bagged all 3 points.
Laurie Sanchez marked his first anniversary as Wycombe manager with a win, watched by Trevor Harris.
Taylor came and obviously didn't call. His defender got in front of him. And Wrexham still pressing. This is Carey finding himself as the right winger. Not a bad cross, and it's in from Craig Falconbridge. Well, Falconbridge celebrates his 12th of the season, and it was made by a terrific cross on the right-hand side. Took 2 to stop him. And this is Ryan. He's done really well, Ryan. Still has it. And it's in. It's Matt Brady, and Wycombe have an equaliser out of nothing. It was all really about the run of Keith Ryan, who just glided past a succession of tackles, and the ball broke for Brady to sweep it in with that left foot. Davy Carroll will be favourite here. Here is Carroll. That is an absolute belter. Terrific strike from Davy Carroll. And Wrexham here are absolutely stunned. Just enough swing and dip, and it beat Dearden's dive. Carey's header. Sender. Oh, it's an absolute bullet. Well, no doubt where the points are going now. Danny Sender hit that, and it flew past Dearden like a rocket. 3-1 Wycombe lead, and the youngster, who was formerly with Southampton Juniors, has finished proceedings here with a marvellous strike.
Notts County edge ever closer to the playoffs with another victory. Fran Tierney set up Alex Dyer, who made it 1-0 after 35 minutes. Now, the Wrexham coaching staff have been to Juventus to pick up some tips from the Italians. But surely Dean Spink didn't learn this in Turin. Andy Hughes made very, very sure he scored. Now, what's coming next is one of the most dramatic dives in second division history by Ian Stevens, and that gave Wrexham a lifeline, as they were awarded a penalty for this alleged foul by Mark Warren. But justice was done as Darren Ward went full stretch to keep the advantage to 2. That was until 2 minutes from time, when Carl Connolly got a consolation, but Wrexham are still staring over their shoulders at relegation.
Preston steal a march on Bristol Rovers, moving 2 points ahead. Wigan's dip in form continues. The former leaders now 3 points outside the automatic promotion places. As for the playoffs, Gillingham with games in hand are nicely poised in 7th. Oxford are clear of the bottom 4, replaced by Cardiff. Reading's revival continues, up 1 more place. The key fixtures this week: Cambridge home to Blackpool, Oxford entertain Chesterfield.
Booed off the pitch, Brian Flynn's days may be numbered at Wrexham. Here's Trevor Harris.
Whitehall again with the in-swinger. Dearden made his mind up, and it's in at the far post, and they've been threatening it, and it's Richard Graham, the central defender, who's got it, all on his own at the back post. And Wrexham's defending, in all honesty, was not very impressive. Oh, given away rather sloppily by Owen. Whitehall, lovely turn. Chance here. It was too easy. It's 2-0 Oldham. It was made by Paul Rickers, who just slotted it inside. Rickers' ball, and he's got Dudley away here. This could be really embarrassing if it's 3. It should be, and it is. It's Craig Dudley. It's no more than he deserves individually, and you have to say, as the Oldham fans celebrate, it's no more than Wrexham deserve to be trailing by 3. They have been that bad.
Oxford 3 points better off than Blackpool, but they're still concerned from returning manager Dennis Smith at their predicament. Carl Connolly scored the first for Wrexham, who were level with Oxford in the table before the weekend, so the ease with which they pulled away will be cause for considerable concern at the Manor Ground. Danny Allsop scored Wrexham's next 2. This was his debut after joining on loan from Manchester City. But after his first, Oxford threatened recovery. Their debutant, Christian Edwards, produced a few smiles amongst the withering faithful, but these smiles disappeared just 7 minutes later. Wrexham's third, no laughing matter, especially if you happen to be Oxford keeper Paul London. Allsop made it 3-1. 4-1 was confirmed by Darren Ferguson 2 minutes from the end. Wrexham eased their problems. Smith must wonder why he's returned for a second stint in charge.
Wrexham against Luton was watched by Trevor Harris.
Ferguson just drifted past Douglas and went inside Lock, and now Owen has lost his man really well. Allsop, and it's in! It's through the goalkeeper's legs, and he has scored in successive games. Danny Allsop gives Wrexham the lead. Still Gibson looking for options, finds one here in Russell. Struck it well, and that's an excellent save from Ben Roberts.
Andy Payton is the striker getting the goals for Burnley at the moment. Of course, they all tell you that it's not important who gets the goals as long as their team wins. Payton, though, had planned this one. The great header hit the bar. The follow-up was a landmark strike. The T-shirt confirmed it was goal number 200 of Payton's career. They'll have to wait for goal number 201, though. Wrexham keeper Kevin Dearden somehow kept that one out.
Seven goals at the Abbey Stadium, but an 8th home defeat leaves Cambridge sitting uncomfortably on top of the relegation cut-off point on goals difference. Danny Williams followed up the save from Sean Marshall for a 9th-minute opener. Cambridge missed a penalty before Tom Youngs bagged a double to put Cambridge in front. He squeezed in between the 2 defenders for his first, and Cambridge threatened to pull him and Wrexham apart. He did the same for his second, as Kevin Dearden in the Wrexham goal stumbled under the challenge of his own player. Up popped Youngs again, and Cambridge were contemplating a vital win. But within 6 minutes, the smile was completely wiped off their faces, and Brian Flynn was sporting the Cheshire Cat smile. Kevin Russell was allowed time and space to turn and shoot for the equaliser. And moments later, Wrexham had grabbed a third. Stunning left-foot free kicks are a tradition with the Welsh side now. Darren Ferguson is carrying it on. The 4th goal put the result beyond Cambridge's reach. The cameraman couldn't follow the ball, nor could the used defence, so Kevin Russell found it pretty easy to get his second. Cambridge have sunk pretty low this year, but Trevor Benjamin's header was taking the matter to the extreme. A grass-sniffing 16th of the season for him. Scoring goals isn't their problem, it's stopping them that is.
The top pair are breaking away. Preston still 1 point ahead of Bristol Rovers, but it's then another 7 points back to Millwall in third. And the London club's advantage over its playoff rivals has narrowed. Wigan, Burnley and Gillingham all gain ground. Cardiff move above Blackpool as the scramble to escape the bottom four intensifies. Scunthorpe and Cambridge both miss the chance to pull away, but Wrexham's win at the Abbey Stadium eases their worries. They're up 2 places.
A disappointing night for Brian Flynn's Wrexham, who looked destined to record one of the night's big upsets when midfielder Gareth Owen put them in front midway through the first half. And they held that lead until the final minute of the game, cruelly denied maximum points by Millwall's Michael Gilt.
It wasn't pretty at Deepdale, few real chances and 9 players booked. But in the one quality moment that mattered, Ian Anderson claimed the winner for the 2nd week running. A stunning individual strike from the 22-year-old on loan from Toulouse. He also hit the woodwork twice and he's keeping Preston on track for the title.
Both sides seem pretty assured of 2nd Division football next season, but Reading's 4th away win of the season, thanks to a goal from Martin Butler, lifts them above Wrexham in the table.
Four goals to at Ashton Gate. Commentary here from Jed Pittman.
Mercer with the goal kick. Flicked on nicely. Oh, mistake, and here Tony Thorpe is in. That is brilliant from Tony Thorpe. 1-0. Holland with the header, just got caught in the face. Play, though, carries on, and here's Beadle. 2-0. Well, whatever Thorpe can do, Beadle can match it. Tinian getting Thorpe on the run. The goalkeeper's come and has missed it. This is Tony Thorpe. 3-0. Ball forward from Carey. Jaden's come out. He's not going to get there. This is Meechan. 4-0. And in injury time, an emphatic victory now for Bristol City.
There was an air of resignation to Chesterfield's performance at home to Wrexham. A defeat and they were down. After this, they were down. Carl Connolly scored a hat-trick for Wrexham as the Chesterfield defence proved porous and the will to fight appeared to decline rapidly. Connolly's hat-trick was secured by a last-minute penalty, which mattered little in terms of the result. Realistically, Chesterfield already knew their fate. The only positive aspect to this was the culmination of Connolly's trio.
A largely meaningless match at the racecourse, but an historic moment for Wrexham fullback Phil Hardy. Joe Dunn's foul on Andy Morrell gave Hardy the chance to score his first goal in 10 years at the club. No problem. Wigan looked like blowing the automatic promotion place that looked so assured for the first half of the campaign. To rub salt in the wound, Wrexham's winner came from Carl Connolly, a player they tried to buy just a few weeks ago.
Burnley's promotion was thanks to a former Turf Moor favourite, Brian Flynn, whose Wrexham side banished the Gills to the playoffs. What a time and what a way for Mark McGregor to score his first goal of the season. Gillingham have never made it to the First Division in their 107-year history. Last year they came within minutes against Manchester City, but while they will be in the Premiership next year, Peter Taylor's side may be stuck in Division 2 unless their playoff fortune changes for the better.
We're not out, you know, we can still get promotion. So, you know, we've got 3 hard matches to do that. Hopefully we get to Wembley and we'll try and win it from there. But I think the lads have got to be honest with themselves. They've got to learn from the performance. And one thing I've always said about their spirit is brilliant, absolutely first-class fellas. I feel really sorry for them at the moment. And we will bounce back.
Burnley climb above Gillingham to claim the 2nd promotion place. The 2 Lancashire teams go up with Preston as champions. Gillingham's aim now is a 2nd successive playoff final. Spare a thought for Bristol Rovers, edged out right at the end. The bottom 10 stayed the same on the last day. Cardiff, Blackpool, Scunthorpe and Chesterfield were already relegated. For Cardiff and Scunthorpe, it's straight back down after just 1 season in the 2nd Division.